Hi everyone. Today I have with me a special guest. His name is Dorron Blumberg. So Dorron is a mental performance coach with over 15 years of experience. He specializes in empowering athletes to achieve peak performance through the principles of sports psychology, which I have no idea what this is. So I hope you will be able to explain me what are the principles of sports psychology.
For sure. So, sports psychology is training your mindset for peak performance.
Okay. How do you define peak performance for those who are not familiar with this term?
So, peak performance has to do with optimizing your game as an athlete. Whatever position you are in your life, you're trying to get to the next level. So, let's say that you're a high school athlete and you're trying to go to Division 1 or Division 2 sports. How can you get there? So, as a sports psychologist, I help you overcome any mental blocks that you have, any type of things that are standing in your way, communication problems with coaches and parents. So that way you can overcome those things to get to the next level. So I pretty much help athletes and look at their game in every single avenue to see how I can maximize their performance and optimize their game.
Okay. Yeah, I think most people are aware that for athletes to go to the next level, they hire a coach for their physical abilities and skills, but
Correct.
maybe they're less aware of that mental aspect. So, how did you come to that realization that this mental exercise was as much needed as the physical side?
Well, I was a competitive youth swimmer. And as a youth swimmer, I never had anybody to talk to about my emotions or my goal setting. And yes, I had some of the best coaches in the world. But growing up in the 90s as a swimmer, I didn't have the opportunity to have somebody sit down with me and say, okay, what's your purpose? What's your vision? What's your goals? Let's look at how you're going to get there. Let's go into practice and competitions with these goals in mind. And then when you're done with that competition, let's reset, reevaluate those goals and see what we need to do to get you even better with your performance. Then I also played college football. And back
Okay.
when I played, I was on the first football team for Florida Atlantic University in 2000. So back when I played, when you got your head wrung, there was no go get checked out by the doctors. It was suck it up, buttercup, shake it off, get back in there. And that's huge difference now. I mean, athletes now get checked out and they're evaluated for their performance and their mental health. But yeah, so after that happened, I remember I was sitting in class and I was seeing like 4 different whiteboards. My head was shaking and I'm like, man, I got to get out of this and do something about it. So that's how I got into health and wellness, and definitely led me to get a master's degree in sports psychology because I saw it was the missing piece in sports and it wasn't focused on. And even to this day, athletes still don't focus on it. About 3% of the population as a whole in general actually write down their goals. That means taking pen to paper and writing down your goals on a regular basis. So it's huge. It's huge. It's
What did you
everything.
say? 3% of the population?
3% about the population only writes down their goals
Wow.
on a regular basis.
This is very little. And we know the importance of like having a clear direction, knowing exactly what we want is how we get there. So this
Yeah,
is
so
good data.
yeah, definitely. So one of the things I do for my athletes is I give them a journal with a pen, and then I have them start by writing down their strengths, their weaknesses, unpacking the mental blocks that they got going on. Or it could be an athlete that's doing really well, like they're awesome in their sport, but they're just looking for the little tips or the little things to get them to the next level. So I definitely help them with that as well.
So it sounds like the support you didn't have as a youth athlete, you decided to fill that gap by studying health and wellness. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
definitely. Yeah, I got a
Okay.
bachelor's degree in exercise science and health promotion. And then after that, I got a master's degree in sports psychology or psychology, focusing in sports. And then I got about 10 different certifications in the field to help support that, because sometimes when you get a degree, it doesn't give you, it gives you more of the scientific data and research and things like that, but the certifications give you more of a application to real life and how you can apply it to your real life situations that are going on. So it's a good balance to have both, because
Okay.
sometimes you want to know that science and the research and have it backed up, and then also understand that there's practical applications that can be used that make it very easy and simple for athletes to understand.
Yeah, it's more hands-on.
Correct. Yep.
And would you say that even without knowing these tools, these mindset tools as a youth athlete, did you have some type of practice that looking back today, you're like, oh, this was mental preparation?
Yeah, I didn't have anything. Your coaches pulled you to the side, did a good
Yeah.
job of coaching you,
Mm-hmm.
unlike your physical skills as far as technique, your tactical approach, strategy. Obviously, my parents did a really good job of
Mm-hmm.
supporting me, taking us to practice, paying for all the lessons and everything that had to be done as an athlete, and traveling all over the place. But no, I never had like a specific coach that was there for me to help me get to the next level in my sport. And I feel that if I had that, even my older brother, if he had that, because he got a
Mm-hmm.
full ride to the University of Alabama, even if he had that, he could have excelled in his sport as well.
I see. Yeah, I love seeing more examples of how people choose their careers based on or create their even dream job based on personal struggles they had in the past. Because I find that being able to draw from your own experience is what resonates even more with your clients or your audience.
Oh, definitely. It gives you empathy for what they're
Mm-hmm.
going through. And you know exactly the feeling and what they're experiencing, especially as a kid and a youth athlete. Your brain isn't fully developed yet, and you're already putting all this pressure on yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to have somebody to say, "No, you're doing a great job," and just focus on the small details in your game, and you'll continue to get better. And another thing I give the kids that I work with is a custom visualization.
What does that imply?
Visualization helps reprogram your subconscious mind. So it connects the neurons in your brain, and it empowers you to move forward with a very positive outlook on what you're doing.
So, for those who don't know what visualization is, could you describe it?
Sure. So visualization is broken down into breathing
Mm-hmm.
exercises. So it's breathing in through the belly
Okay.
for 7 seconds, holding it for 2 seconds, and breathing out for 5 to 7 seconds. So what that does is it calms down your nervous system. You want to try it?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
go
try
for it.
it.
Okay,
Okay.
so put your hand on your stomach,
Yes.
and you're going to breathe in through your nose for 7 seconds.
Okay.
And your stomach's going to expand, and you hold it for 2 seconds, and then you breathe out and let your stomach deflate.
Okay.
Now we'll do it one more time, but this
Yeah.
time I'm going to coach you through it, okay?
Okay. Sounds
So
good.
breathe in, positive emotions, positive feelings, positive actions. Hold for 2 seconds and breathe out any type of negative feelings holding you back. Great
Okay.
job. So what that does is it gets you to focus in the present moment. I call it the 3 power P's. So the first part is getting present, being present in the moment, staying focused. The next part is creating positive images or
Mm.
in power words. The next part of the visualization is you go on the biggest highlight you've had in your life.
Okay.
So for example, it could be for an athlete scoring a hat trick, or it could be winning a championship, or it could be something as simple as not having anxiety in their last game, right? So you add that into the visualization, and then
Okay.
you add some power words as well, like I am powerful, I am great, I am confident. So by adding those affirmations, you're reprogramming the brain. So that's a second part of the visualization. Then the last part of the visualization is you pick like a shape, a color, or an animal that resonates with you, and then what that means to you. So, for example, I had one client who picked a kitty cat, and the kitty
Yes.
cat
Okay.
resembled peace and calmness and kindness. So, all those words resonated with him. So, I added the kitty cat into the visualization. And then I put that all together in a script, record the script, put some music in the beginning and the end, and then I send that to my client. And then I have my client listen to that at least 3 times a day, especially if they're getting ready for a competition. So
So,
I did this for a wrestler,
okay.
and he started following that along. He did it
Mm-hmm.
morning before his practice or competition, and at night. So now you have a practice for your mindset. And what that did, it allowed him to win a state championship because he
Wow.
overcame his fears, he overcame his doubts. So
This
very
is
powerful
powerful.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make sure I understood, when you record an audio, it's an audio of me saying, I am powerful, I can do this. And then
hmm
you add inspiring music in the background. Is that correct so far?
Only in the beginning and the end. In the middle, I don't add any music because I want them to be focused on the
On,
visualization. So you don't want to have
okay.
any distractions going on with the visualization, because if there's any type of music in the background, that could deter your mind, your thinking. So you want it to be straight. But in the beginning and the end, I put a little bit of music just to give a little energy to it, to make it like kind of exciting and a fun thing, and kind of like program you and get you going with the visualization. I mean, some people might prefer no music, so you could just
Yeah.
do it without music.
So, in the case of your client who was listening to it 3 times a day, is it like you do this exercise of doing a 7 seconds breathing in, 2 seconds holding, and then is it 3 seconds breathing out?
Yeah, so you do that like
Okay.
3 times, like
Okay.
3 or 4 times. Then it gets into the visualization, and it's all there. All you have to do is just listen to the visualization. And when you listen to it, it's best to do it like where there's no noise or distractions, or with the headphones on, or
Yeah.
lying down on the sofa. So you're focused. There's no distractions outside of you. You're not trying to talk to somebody, or if somebody's having a conversation, you're trying to block that out. So you do it in a place where there's no distractions around you. So it helps you
Yeah.
focus.
Okay. And so this visualization, is it just me in my head replaying that successful moment or what I want to achieve, or is it spoken as well in
No,
my
no, you're
ears?
just
No.
listening to it. So it's all
Okay.
internal. So it's all internal. You're getting yourself in the zone. They call it in the zone. So you're getting yourself in the zone, ready to perform at a high level. So the more you do this, it gives you an advantage, because other athletes that are just training physically and training on other things, they're not doing this exercise. So
Okay.
that's how you train the mind. That's one way of doing it. Visualization is huge for athletes because it gives them a tool that they haven't used in the past that gets them beyond where they are right now.
And
And
when
there's
you
science
say,
to it. There's a lot of research, science that backs it
yeah.
up and says it works.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
mean, when I heard about visualization, I actually think more about vision board. It's what I'm familiar with.
Sure. So
And
a vision
yeah.
board is part of the coaching process too. So a vision board, what that does is it's just a reminder of your goals in life and your vision of where you're going. So what I do for my clients, I draw a little triangle for them. And in
Okay.
one corner I put their purpose, in one corner I put their goals, and in the top I put their vision. So I do it that way, so I call it tunnel vision. So like a pyramid at the top, you're focused on what you want. You're focused on your vision. And that could be for the next 3 months, 6 months, year plus. You're focused on those things that you want to attain. So the reason I call it tunnel vision is you want to block out the outside noise. You want to block out the things you can't control and focus on the things you can control.
Yeah, I think this is really important. A lot of people spend way too much time on and energy on thinking on what they can't control. And there will be more good things happening if they were focusing, and if I was focusing more often on what I can control. So That's a powerful reminder.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just talking this past weekend, we went out with a couple of friends, and they're tennis players.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
were talking about this next competition coming up. And you can hear the chatter about, oh, they're really good. They're really awesome players. I'm nervous. I don't know how I'm going to play against them. So they're already defeating themselves
Mm.
before going into the competition. And the thing about being a peak athlete is that you have to practice and just focus on your own game and what you can control. And it was crazy because I was watching these younger guys play before we went to lunch, and these guys were so talented, but they were playing to the competition's level. So what that
Wow.
means is they were being arrogant, they were
Oh, I
goofing
see.
around. So when I watched them play, they were making a lot of mental errors,
Mm.
and they lost a lot of games and a lot of sets because of those errors where they should have been dominating the game. But their
Mm-hmm.
focus wasn't there. They were focused on who they were playing. So when you're an athlete and you're going into a competition, you have to focus on yourself and what you can control and have your own goals and evaluate yourself.
I
And by
see.
doing that, you're going to be able to have a game plan each and every
Mm-hmm.
time versus not having a game plan and focusing on the outside competition. And that's again where you're going to make errors, have mental blocks, talk negatively to yourself. So it's a great thing that I get to do is helping people with their coaching
And I think it's
and their
uh,
game.
it's very needed. I'm sure they appreciate everything you do for them.
Yeah,
W-
definitely.
with the example you gave, like someone was able to become a national champion.
Yeah, they're a state champion in
Okay,
wrestling, and I've
this
even
is
had
incredible.
yeah.
What
I've
a yeah success.
I've even had examples of like a 10-year-old
Mm.
who won a championship and got the scoring the last goal to win it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've even had little wins like a gymnast who was able to go on the balance beam for the first time and complete her routine in 2 years
Wow.
and
I'm
be
not familiar
happy.
with
Right.
all of these sports and all of these accomplishments, but I know that I can see how this mental exercise must have really helped them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Even figure skaters, they call it
Hmm.
circling, how they won't attempt their jumps. I've helped figure skaters overcome that issue where they were now attempting their jumps and their routine and finishing it, even if they made the mistake, but they were seeing it as a growth
Mm.
opportunity that they pushed themselves past that little mental block that they had and they're
Yeah.
able to overcome that, and it made them excited because they knew that they had work to do. And as an
Hmm.
athlete, if you look at stuff from a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, you're able to look at things from a broader perspective and change your perception and have the will to keep going and getting better as an athlete. And that's everything. That's even life. You're always trying to
Yeah.
improve and become a better person.
Yeah, and which is a good transition to my next question because in this audience, I don't know if we have athletes. So I'm curious if you have any tools non athletes can use to achieve peak performance with their maybe amateur fitness goals or even just in their career goals, relationship goals.
Yeah,
Is there
absolutely.
anything?
I
Yeah.
mean, these principles apply to all of that. So I even made a visualization for myself that
Mm-hmm.
has to do with my business and my fitness and being at the top of my game and all of those things. And I'm focused on the process. I'm focused on the little things I can control. I'm not going to
Okay.
worry about what other people think about me or say about
Mm-hmm.
me, or the fear of a lot of people have a fear of talking in front of others, what they're thinking. Or if you say something wrong to somebody, you just have to have your own goals for yourself and write them down. So, same principles can be used in everyday life. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
even with people that do fitness competitions or triathlons or 5Ks, you can use the same principles for that. Or if you just have a business or you're looking to lose weight, definitely, having purpose, vision, and goals is awesome. And being aware of different principles like emotional intelligence, leadership, communication, all these things can be used for everybody.
Okay. If someone wants to get started just after listening to this podcast episode, what would they need to start with?
So they could go to my website. It's
Okay.
Dorron Coaching. That's D as in David, ORRON as in Nancy, coaching.com. Or they can call me directly at 561-618-0759. Or they can email me at dorroncoaching@gmail.com.
Awesome. So our listeners know where to find you to continue. I just had another question, which was because we're talking here about training our minds through visualization and all these other techniques, I guess there are moments where we start and we're not, like the training might be difficult. So what roadblocks can we experience through when we practice visualization?
So you're saying, like, if you're working out, doing stuff, and you're having a problem with that, like, what can you do?
I guess we have to train our mind. So we might not be successful, I assume, when we practice visualization at first.
Got it. I mean, that's just one tool. So
Okay.
that's just one tool. So if you're doing visualization, you're not getting the results that you're getting, then you have to look at other avenues like affirmations, or perhaps you're more of a visual person that you need to see it. So then you can look at some vision board activities, or look at different videos, or perhaps different music that would inspire you. And if that doesn't work, then I recommend just taking a break from everything. Take a break, turn it off, reevaluate what you're doing, see where you're spending a lot of your time in life. Are you watching news? Are you spending a lot of time on social media? Are you taking your phone to your bed with you every night? So evaluate that and then make some small changes. Like, don't bring your phone to the bed at night. Like, leave it out in the kitchen, or leave it out in your office if you have a home office. You know, maybe turn off social media or put your phone down after a certain time, just to give your mind a break. Or work on recovery. Like, work on, going to do, big thing right now is like cold plunges or sauna. And sometimes your body needs a break because as an athlete, you're always thinking push, 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 push. But perhaps you just need to take a break from everything and take some time off. And then that'll allow you to get remotivated and inspired to hit your goals.
This is great advice. Yeah. When we try to keep adding things to our to-do list in our schedule and it feels overwhelming, at some point, maybe adding something more is not the solution, and it's better to take a step back, start from scratch, and just reset. So thank you for sharing this.
Another thing too I'll add is you can redo your space to add some inspiration, or clean up your desk, or maybe get rid of some things, like declutter, and that'll help you with your mindset too, because that way there's not a lot of things all over the place and you're more organized, and you have a nice new space, and it'll inspire some growth and new opportunities for you.
Yeah, I second that totally.
Yeah.
There's a question I ask all of my guests. It's just to remind everyone to celebrate our wins. And I know it's also something you practice, to celebrate wins. So I'm curious, what is a personal or professional goal that you've reached recently that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, definitely. I think recently one of the biggest things that I've accomplished, that's a really good question. I guess getting really good results for my clients is the best feeling in the world. So those accomplishments with numerous clients that have helped is huge, is everything. It's why we do what we do, right? Another thing that we recently got was another puppy. So we have 5 dogs.
Yeah. I know you have a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a lot of animals. So
is it like 9 or 10?
We got about 9, yeah.
Okay.
So just having that unconditional love is amazing. Like, just coming home and they're super excited to see you and give you love and hugs. Sometimes it's hard to get up in the morning but having that unconditional love and getting another rescue animal is definitely personally something that brings you a lot of joy in life, because
Mhm.
the world can be tough, and just coming home to that and having that love and support is, you can't put money on that.
Yeah, and I love that you shared both a personal and a professional accomplishment. And I mean, congratulations for bringing those type of results to your clients. It's amazing. And I've been watching the testimonials on your website, and you
Yeah.
can tell that, I mean, people took the time to record a testimonial to just share how they feel with the results they achieve through your coaching. And that's amazing. So congratulations for what you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a journey, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. So this is something that I look forward to doing for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Dorron. To remind everybody, you can learn more about Dorron's coaching on dorroncoaching.com. I will add all of the information on the website as well.